Let me ask you something. What if this video reached you at the exact moment you were about to drift off? Not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. What if everything you've been chasing, hoping for, doubting, brought you right here to these words? Because this isn't just another video, it's not a distraction, it's not a quick hit of dopamine. This is the interruption. This is the wake-up call. And here's the truth you've been avoiding. If you don't rewire your mind, someone else will do it for you. Every day the world shapes you. The news, the noise, the endless scrolling, the fear, the voices of people who never built anything. All of it programs you quietly, repeatedly, without your consent. Most men don't live their lives. They replay their past. They get stuck in loops, mental habits. They never choose their thoughts. They never question their limits. They inherit mindsets from those who gave up on their own dreams. But not you, not anymore, because you are here. And something inside you is finished. Living small, done. Shrinking, done. Reacting, done. Drifting, done. This isn't motivation. This is activation. And I need you to listen all the way through, because by the time this video ends, if you apply what's shared, you won't just feel different, you will become different. This isn't a one-time watch. This is your transformation's beginning. This is the moment you snap out of the drift, the moment you choose direction. And let me be clear, this isn't about hustle, hype, or noise. This is about power, quiet power, earned power, power born from discipline, clarity, and a mind trained like a machine. See, the most dangerous man isn't the loudest. It's the one who commands himself, who has won the battle within. And that battle starts with thought. Everything you are now comes from thought. Every fear, every limit, every excuse, and every possibility is born in thought. But the question is, who's doing the thinking? You or the version of you installed by the world? You don't need more time, you need direction. And that starts with controlling your thoughts. What you let in, what repeats, what you let take root. This is where power begins. This is where real wealth begins. Real freedom, real success. You don't drift into greatness. You decide into it. You install it. And that's what you're about to learn. In this video, I will give you mental tools to burn away fear, command your habits, speak precisely to your mind, and walk as a man in dominion over his life, but only if you watch it all. This isn't a clip to watch once and scroll past. This is your daily ritual, your mental armor. So listen now and come back tomorrow. The mind won't rewire itself, but it will obey the one who finally takes command. Now sit up, be still, focus, because from here, everything changes. You've been told you control your life, that your decisions are your own. But the truth, most men aren't the architects of their lives. They're puppets of their programming, shaped by the world, driven by fear, ruled by emotion, steered by habit. They don't decide, they react. Your environment has scripted you since childhood. Every doubt spoken over you, every limit placed on you, every failure you internalized, stored deep inside, firing without your permission. It dictates what you think you can do, what you try, how far you go, and how soon you quit. You believe your fears are real, your limits are true, but they were planted, conditioned, installed like software. If you never question them, if you never interrupt the pattern, you will live someone else's version of your life. But here's the shift. Once you see the program, you can reprogram it. The subconscious runs the show. It doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition, to emotion, to dominance. If you've rehearsed weakness, fear, hesitation every day, you've practiced defeat. But the moment you flip the pattern, install new commands, rituals, standards, the machine starts working for you, not against you. You wake and declare, I am focused, I am capable, I am building. Then back it up with action, with execution. That's how power grows, from the inside out. Charles Schwab wasn't born powerful. He earned it through presence, through repetition. He studied himself like others studied books. Why? Because self-awareness begins self-command. He rose not by shouting, but by embodying clarity, and clarity commands. Your habits are your future's compass, not talent, not feelings, but habits, formed in silence, in private, through what you repeat when no one's watching. That's why your inputs matter. What you listen to, who you listen to, what you say in the mirror. You think self-talk is harmless, but it's the loudest voice in your life. If it's full of fear, hesitation, confusion, your reality will reflect that. It's time to take it back. You are not a puppet. You are a builder, a man who speaks with authority to his mind, who creates rituals that build power, who guards his focus like it's sacred because it is. From this moment on, every day is installation. You wake and build yourself before the world can break you. That's how Ford built empires. That's how Carnegie built wealth. Not by luck, not by hype, but by clear thought, disciplined speech, consistent action, and that's what you must do now. This is your turning point. You wake every day with a choice, but most never make it. They drift. They float through life. No plan, no direction, no fire, just reaction. They let the world tell them what to care about, what to chase, who to be. That's the tragedy, not failure, not rejection, but drift. Drifting through life with power unused, potential buried, purpose forgotten, lost in passivity. Drift is destiny's enemy. It looks harmless, which makes it deadly. Drift feels comfortable, like ease, like going with the flow, but nothing great was ever built by accident. No man became powerful by following convenience. The life you want won't come from indecision. It begins with drawing a line in the sand, because until you truly decide, nothing changes. You think you need more time, more resources, more clarity. You don't. You need decision. You must stand and declare what your life means. That's when transformation starts. The moment you stop moving with the world and start moving the world. Listen close. Indecision is a habit. So is decisiveness. Every hesitation reinforces weakness. Every delay trains your subconscious to doubt your power. But when you decide, instantly and finally, you rewire your identity. You become the man who moves, who acts, who leads. Decision is magnetic. People, the universe, circumstances, they respond to the man who's made up his mind. Decision is energy, focused and condensed into motion. You don't beg for momentum. You create it by deciding faster than fear can speak. Charles Schwab didn't rise to lead Carnegie Steel because he had the highest IQ. He rose because he made clear, confident decisions and stuck with them while others debated and delayed. He executed. That's what leaders do. That's what builders do. So ask yourself, who have you decided to be? Have you chosen your chief aim, your standard, your future? Or are you still a leaf in the wind? Reacting, drifting, hoping. Stop drifting. Decide. Say it out loud. This is the man I'm becoming. This is the standard I live by. This is the future I'm building. Write it down. Speak it daily. Anchor it deep, because the uncertain man folds under pressure. But the man who decides cannot be stopped. You don't attract power by chance. You install it. Power isn't a title. It's not status. It's not earned from others. Power is created within, and it starts the moment you take control of your identity. Your identity is your foundation. Everything you do, your habits, your reactions, your intensity, flows from the image you hold of yourself. Most men still live trapped in an image built by their past, failures, fears. That's why they sabotage progress, why they start and stop, why nothing sticks, because they operate from a survival identity, not a success identity. But you are here to build something different. If that's true, your identity must be upgraded on purpose. Look at every man who changed history. They weren't born different. They weren't lucky. They built themselves, thought by thought, belief by belief, command by command. Henry Ford wasn't a genius inventor. He was a man with a crystal clear belief system. He repeated to himself in the world, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That wasn't just philosophy. That was identity programming, and it made him unstoppable. Thomas Edison didn't just try to invent the light bulb. He saw it before the world did. He visualized the results so clearly, so often, that his mind rejected failure, only accepted feedback. 10,000 failed attempts meant nothing, because his identity didn't waver. He was the man who would create light. That's how you must move now. You're not just setting goals. You're setting identity anchors. You're not hoping to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're not hoping to build greatness. You are the builder. Start speaking to yourself as the most powerful men spoke to themselves, not with doubt, not with apology, but with certainty. Say it now. I am decisive. I am dangerous when focused. I finish what I start. I lead my mind, my day, and my destiny. This is not fake confidence. This is engineering. The subconscious doesn't argue. It obeys. When fed identity statements with emotion and repetition, it accepts them as truth. You literally become what you repeat. That's not theory. It's the principle behind every lasting success story. Andrew Carnegie didn't just build wealth. He built men who lived with definite purpose. He refused to work with drifters. He hired men who knew themselves, spoke with clarity, moved with conviction. When their confidence wavered, he made them study their own minds like blueprints. Because when you study your thoughts, reinforce your beliefs, repeat your standard daily, you don't just rise, you become a weapon. Now listen closely. No more casual affirmations. No more whispering goals like you're asking permission. From this day forward, you speak like a builder. You speak like a man who knows who he's becoming. Say it again. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am not average. I do not drift. I move with purpose. I finish what I start. That's how power is installed, not in moments, but through daily rituals of reinforcement. You won't become this man by accident. You become him by repetition with fire. Repeat this script every morning. Speak it until it burns in your bones. Believe it, because the man you admire, the man you are building, is built with words like these, spoken with certainty, lived with fire, and soon the world won't just hear what you believe, they'll feel it. Every man faces a moment when he must stop asking and start deciding. That moment is now. Decision is the doorway to power. Nothing happens without it. No result is created. No transformation begins. No identity sticks without the force of decision behind it. Most people never rise because they never decide. They flirt with commitment. They try. They dabble, but they never burn the bridge. They never lock the door behind them. They never say, "This is who I am now, and there's no going back." But the successful live by a different code. Charles M. Schwab wasn't the smartest man in the steel industry, but he was the most decisive. That's why Andrew Carnegie trusted him to run his empire. Schwab made bold moves when others hesitated. He didn't let fear delay the mission. He decided fast and only adjusted when absolutely necessary. That's the principle I want you to install now. I decide quickly and change slowly, only when facts demand it. Because here's the truth. The longer you hesitate, the weaker you become. The longer you analyze, the more you drift. The longer you avoid the call, the more power you hand to fear. There is no safe maybe. Maybe is slow death to your mission. Should I commit to this identity? Yes, decide. Should I speak my affirmations even when I don't feel it? Yes, decide. Should I show up even when no one's watching? Yes, decide. Because indecision is not neutral. It's a decision to stay weak, uncertain, to live by someone else's rules, and you are not here for that. You are here to build, to command, to walk with definiteness of purpose. That phrase, definiteness of purpose, is more than a motto. It's a way of life. It means your actions are rooted in one outcome, not 10, not maybe. 1. Edison decided to create the light bulb, not try, not see what happens. He decided and backed that decision with 10,000 experiments, 10,000 failures, but the decision never wavered. Because of that, the world changed. When you move with true decision, the world feels it. Circumstances rearrange. People notice. Doubt retreats. Why? Power respects clarity. Now say it. I am decisive. I know what I want, and I move toward it without delay. I choose action over hesitation, execution over excuses, and now make one decision today. Just one. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel better. Right now. Maybe it's cutting a habit killing your energy. Maybe it's speaking your affirmations with full belief today, not someday. Maybe it's finally acting on the idea you've postponed. Whatever it is, decide. Because every bold action wires your subconscious to believe, I am a man who follows through, and the more you follow through, the less power fear holds over you. Remember, hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever could. So decide today and back it with movement. You are not here to float, you are here to command, and it starts with one decision made with fire, followed by discipline, reinforced by action. There is a force robbing men of strength every day. It's not poverty, pain, or failure, it's noise, constant endless noise. The moment you open your eyes, the world floods you. Notifications, opinions, news cycles, pressure to explain, share, prove, and without realizing it, your mind once full of intention becomes scattered, your focus hijacked, your mission diluted, worst of all, your power silenced. But here's the truth, silence is not emptiness, silence is ammunition. In silence, vision becomes clear. In stillness, identity locks in. When you stop performing for the world, you start performing for yourself. Every great man I've known, every builder, leader, titan, moved this way. Quiet, strategic, focused. They didn't beg for applause or explain their process. They executed. And when it was done, the world noticed. Andrew Carnegie didn't post updates. He trained in solitude. He demanded focus from himself and every man in his company. Meetings were short, intentions clear, distractions not tolerated. Why? Because results are built in quiet, not noise. If you want power, reclaim your mind from the world. Start with your mornings. Make the first 30 minutes sacred. No phone, no scrolling, just clarity, rehearsal, command. Speak your identity into the mirror, into the room, into your being, not for watchers, but because you are watching. That quiet fire sets the tone for your day. Understand, privacy is power. The less the world knows, the more you control. Every time you share your goals too early, every time you explain your path to those who won't understand, you leak power, you invite doubt, you hand your dream to spectators never meant to be on the field. Stop asking for permission. Stop updating strangers. Stop letting algorithms dictate your energy. Let them wonder where you went. Let them think you quit. Let them scroll past your silence while they guess you built. This isn't arrogance, it's discipline. It's knowing the seed grows best underground, unseen, protected, nourished in silence until roots are strong enough to rise. When you go silent, you control your energy. You stop reacting. You start creating. Suddenly the world feels different. Your mind sharpens. You move with less hesitation. Why? No audience, no one to perform for, just you and the work. That's when you become dangerous. That's when momentum builds quietly, relentlessly, like a storm no one sees coming. So ask yourself, what noise must go? Who have you been explaining yourself to? Who doesn't deserve it? What mental energy are you spending performing when you should be producing? Cut it off. Not tomorrow, now. If it doesn't feed your focus, it steals it. Silence filters. It removes the irrelevant. It tunes out the world's frequency so you can hear your own. Once that signal is strong, your voice louder in your mind than outside voices, that's when you win. Not loudly, not explosively, undeniably. When you walk with results forged in silence, strengthened in solitude, you won't say a word. They'll feel it. Your dream doesn't care about excuses. It answers to one thing only, consistency. You can speak with fire, visualize with precision, believe with conviction, but if your habits aren't aligned, none of it lands. The subconscious doesn't listen to talk. It listens to repetition, to ritual. Your habits reinforce your vision or sabotage it. No in between. You say you want success, but what does your morning look like? You say you want discipline, but what do your evenings say? You want mastery. Is your calendar structured like a man who honors that desire? This is where most men break. Not because their dreams are impossible, not because they aren't capable, but because their rhythms are sloppy, their lifestyles misaligned, their habits betray ambition. Here's the law. You always default to your system's level. If your system is distraction, you will be distracted. If your system is chaos, you will live in reaction. But if your system is clarity, you will create with direction. If your system is focused repetition, you become exactly what you repeat. Success isn't intensity, it's systematic obsession. How you move when no one watches, how you speak to yourself when there's no crowd applauding, how you guard your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. When those patterns lock in, your subconscious adopts the rhythm. That's when cosmic habit force kicks in. Your actions carry you. Momentum builds for you. Repetition's force becomes like gravity. What was once hard becomes normal. What felt like effort becomes identity. Think of Edison. He didn't hope to succeed. He built a system so consistent, so exacting. Invention became inevitable. Fixed hours, structured experiments, focused intent. When others burned out, he kept rising, not by willpower but habit. Henry Ford did the same. His vision wasn't just revolutionary, it was repeated daily, systematically. It reshaped an industry. The assembly line wasn't just for cars, it was for discipline, for efficiency, for scalable results without emotion. Ask yourself, what is your system? What do you install daily? Mind, body, mission. These loops must be guarded with non-negotiable standards. Feed your mind clarity, repetition, power. Train your body not for looks but discipline and durability. Move on your mission daily, no matter how you feel. Purpose doesn't wait for comfort. This isn't perfection, it's alignment. If you want it but your habits don't show it, you don't want it enough. If your rituals are sloppy, your outcomes will be too. If your rhythms are chaotic, your life will follow. If you let your subconscious drift, programmed by default, someone else shapes your destiny, not by force but distraction. So here's the command. Audit your habits. Rewrite your days. Eliminate what doesn't build you. Reinforce what sharpens you. Install rhythms that lock your identity in place. Not once, every day. Because if your habits don't match your vision is fiction. Align or abandon. There is no middle ground. You can have the strongest rituals, the clearest vision, but if your environment is contaminated, you lose. Success isn't just what you do, it's what you allow. One of the greatest influences on your subconscious is the people near it. Understand, every conversation is a seed. Every joke filled with self-doubt, every complaint disguised as venting, every sarcastic jab at ambition, it plants something. Your subconscious hears, it absorbs. Unless you filter those inputs, you'll carry beliefs that were never yours. You start thinking smaller. You hesitate. You justify mediocrity, not because you lost fire, but because the wrong voices watered it down. Look at those who built something exceptional. Andrew Carnegie didn't surround himself with excuse makers. He surrounded himself with thinkers, builders, strategists, men who understood vision's weight and carried it like armor. Henry Ford didn't build an empire explaining dreams to doubters. He moved with those who believed, because belief is contagious. So is fear. So is small thinking. So is mockery disguised as humor. You must be ruthless about who gets your energy. Not everyone deserves a seat in your war room. Not everyone deserves a voice in your subconscious. Not everyone earns a front row seat to your mission, especially those who haven't proven their place. Here's the truth. Energy is currency, and most people spend it like it never runs out. You can't afford that. Not if you're serious. Not if you're building something sacred. Not if you're rewiring a mind shaped by years of noise, failure, and survival mode beliefs. Your circle must be curated with the same rigor as your habits. Ask yourself, do they sharpen your focus or blur it? Do they reinforce your identity or tear holes in it? Do they believe in growth or cling to the past? The company you keep is never neutral. It either pushes you toward greatness or pulls you back into mediocrity. This doesn't mean cutting off everyone in your life, but it does mean controlling access. Just like you wouldn't hand a stranger your house keys. Don't give small minds entry to your mental space. Protect it, gate it, filter it with intention, set boundaries, raise standards. Some people belong in your story, but not your strategy. Others belong in neither. So here's your task. Audit your circle. Ask the hard questions. If someone consistently brings distraction, drama, or doubt, distance yourself, not from ego, but from alignment. You're not here to babysit others' comfort. You're here to build, to lead, to become someone the old you would barely recognize. That demands solitude, clarity, and precise influence. Your mind is sacred ground. Every voice you admit, every influence you allow, either strengthens your vision or corrupts it. Treat your mind like it matters, because it does. There's a part of the journey few talk about, not the start, when everything feels fresh, not the finish, when transformation is obvious, but the middle, the silence, the stretch where you've done the work for days, weeks, maybe months, and nothing seems to change. No one's watching, no one's cheering. Doubt whispers again. That's the dark phase. If you don't understand it, it will break you. But if you do, if you see it for what it is, it becomes the most powerful part of your growth. Progress rarely comes with fireworks. Often, it arrives quietly, in a slight shift of thought, a micro-habit, done without thinking, a new standard that feels normal. Transformation doesn't announce itself. It simmers before it boils. In that simmer, you'll be tested. You'll wonder if it's working. You'll look in the mirror and see someone doing the work, but not yet living the reward. This is where most quit. They stop, not because it's hard, but because it's quiet, because applause never came, because energy dipped, because the world didn't notice. But hear this, the world isn't supposed to notice yet. That's the point. This phase isn't for visibility, it's for solidifying. It's where you build what I call quiet muscle, the repetition of right action with no external reward. Every time you show up anyway, you become someone no one can break. Charles Schwab didn't rise to the top on hype. He rose through steady presence, through calm, through moving forward, whether the market cheered or crashed. Edison didn't invent the light bulb in a flash of genius. He became the kind of man who outlasted darkness, literally and metaphorically. Thousands of failed attempts, no audience, no fanfare, just belief, repetition, and refusal to let silence convince him he was done. The same is true for you. The dark phase is no punishment, it's a test. If you pass it, if you keep momentum without noise, without feedback, without signs, you become unshakable. Here's a frame to hold. Every day you feel darkness, your results are catching up, not absent, just delayed. Like a seed planted deep in soil, nothing seems to happen on the surface, but beneath, roots multiply, the system strengthens. When it breaks through, it's unstoppable. That's you. Here's the protocol. When you're in that phase, track reps, not feelings. What you did. If you did the work, you're winning. Period. Speak your identity aloud when doubt creeps in. Say, I am becoming undeniable. Say it until your subconscious believes it. Cut the noise, comparison, scrolling distractions. They scream at you. When silence grows, stay on your script. Stay in your system. Celebrate integrity, not results. Anyone can do it when it's easy. Few can do it when it's dark. That's what separates you. You're not falling behind. You're forging ahead in silence with strength. You don't need applause. You need a reason to keep swinging. If you've made it this far, you already have one. You're not building this life for the crowd. You're building it for the man you know you're becoming. That man doesn't fold. He doesn't beg for reassurance. He doesn't wait for signs. He decides. He moves. He endures silence because he knows what's on the other side. So keep going quietly, powerfully, undeniably. You've made it this far. You've listened. You've absorbed. You've felt the shift begin. But none of this lasts unless you repeat it. Transformation isn't a one-time event. It's not a powerful moment, not a single decision or flash of motivation. Real transformation comes from one thing, autosuggestion. Let me be clear. Your subconscious is always listening. It hears certainty and doubt. When you say, I can, and when you whisper, I don't know how, what it hears most, it makes law. Not because it's true, but because it's repeated. This is why one video, no matter how powerful, isn't enough. You must hear this daily. Not just hear it, install it. Not just play it, declare it. Repetition creates rhythm. Rhythm creates identity. You don't become the man you want by watching once. You become him by rehearsing his mindset until it's yours. That's autosuggestion, not magic, a process, a system, a tool used by every great builder, creator, achiever, whether they knew the name or not. Henry Ford repeated belief until the world bent to his vision. Edison didn't just see the light bulb once. He installed it thousands of times until belief became fact. Carnegie instructed his men to speak their aims aloud morning and night to ingrain their mission in the subconscious. No room for doubt, because they understood what most never will. Your results flow downstream from your rituals. Your rituals are born of repetition. That's why you must return to this video, not once, not twice, until it's yours, until the voice you hear becomes the voice you speak, until these declarations stop sounding like suggestions and become commands from your soul. Listen once, you'll forget. Listen a few times, you'll remember. Listen daily, you'll become. This is not entertainment. It's installation. It's engineering. It's how you overwrite the script that's held you back for years. Think of your mind like software. You don't delete old programs by wishing them away. You overwrite line by line, thought by thought, word by word. You install dominant thoughts through repetition with feeling. Here's your instruction. Make this a ritual. Wake up, play this, speak it aloud, feel every word. Visualize the man you're becoming. Attach emotion, attach belief, attach urgency, then go live it. This isn't something you do until convenient. You do it until transformation completes, then keep doing it to maintain the standard. Identity doesn't rise once, it rises every day. Here's a phrase, write it down, say it often. I rehearse who I'm becoming until my subconscious forgets who I used to be. That's the power of autosuggestion. That's why this message must be replayed. You're training a new voice, a new rhythm, a new script, one that drowns out fear, silences hesitation, and leads you like a soldier walking into purpose. So play this video again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. Not to remember, to become. You will no longer drift. You will no longer forget who you are, because when your new identity is stronger than your old story, everything changes. Say it now. I install belief. I repeat power. I am who I choose to become. Let the world keep searching for shortcuts. Let them chase dopamine and forget discipline. You found the system. You found the voice. Now make it yours. Every day, you've made it to the end. But this is not the end. This is the real beginning. The moment transformation stops being a thought and becomes a command. Because by now, something inside you has shifted. You feel it. You felt it growing with every sentence, every repetition, every moment you stayed present. When the old you would have tuned out, that's not hype. That's evidence. Evidence that the old self, the drifting, distracted, doubtful self, is losing grip, and what's taking its place is power. But now comes the test. Because the world you return to after this video won't change just because you did. The noise will return. The doubts will come back. The old patterns will whisper for attention. This is where most fall, not because they lost fire, but because they didn't protect it, because they let it fade when the video ended, because they treated power like a moment, not a responsibility. That won't be you. From this moment on, you're no longer a passive participant in your life. You are the builder. Builders build daily. Let me say this plainly. You are no longer allowed to forget who you are. No longer permitted to drift into average. No longer a man who just listens. You are a man who lives it. From now on, you rehearse greatness, not when easy, not when convenient, until complete. You rehearse discipline. You rehearse power. You rehearse your new identity until it's louder than the world outside and the world inside. Because here's the truth. You're not here to fit in. You're not here to chase likes, not to be understood, not to perform for an audience that wouldn't recognize excellence staring them in the face. You're here for one reason, to become undeniable. That begins now, not when perfect, not when ready. Now, your new standard, clarity over chaos, discipline over dopamine, action over explanation, focus over approval, repetition over reaction. Every time you choose the harder path, you win. Every time you override emotion with execution, you rewire. Every time you speak as the man you're becoming, you lock it in. Start living like that man now. Walk like him, speak like him, decide like him, show up like him before the world believes you are him, because belief follows evidence. Today you give it evidence. If the world doesn't believe yet, good. Let them sleep. Let them doubt. Let them misjudge, because silence isn't failure. It's foundation. The seed doesn't scream when growing, neither should you. Your silence is strategy. Your stillness is strength. Your solitude sharpens you into something the world can't ignore. So when the voice says skip today, you answer, I don't skip, I don't fold, I finish what I start. When you feel not ready, you answer, I decide who I am, and I am ready. When the world says, you're not that guy, you answer, watch me, because the man you're becoming, the one who finishes what he starts, who builds in silence, who rewires his mind like a machine. He doesn't argue, he executes. You're no longer the man who needs the world to believe. You're the man who believes in himself. On repeat. Want to change your life? Repeat this every morning. I believe in myself. Say it while you walk. Say it while you train. Say it while you build. Say it until the old voice dies of starvation. This is the new rhythm. It starts with your rituals. Wake up. Don't scroll. Don't drift. Don't seek noise. Put on mental armor. Install your blueprint. Rehearse who you are before the world labels you. Speak it aloud. I don't drift. I don't delay. I don't wait for perfect time. I create it. I train my mind. I train my habits. I train my future. And I don't explain to those who haven't earned the right to hear. That's your standard. If you fall off, you don't spiral. You reset. You don't beat yourself down. You build yourself back. You don't wait for motivation. You use repetition to find it. The man you're becoming doesn't rise from hype. He rises from habit, from hard days, followed by harder commitment. He rises training in the dark while others fail in the light. If you've wondered what separates the few who rise from the masses, who repeat failures, it's this. They kept coming back to the message that made them dangerous. They didn't just listen. They lived it. That's your challenge now. You don't need more voices. You need to master the one already working. Hit replay. Hit it every morning until rhythm becomes identity, until belief becomes biology, until the man you were no longer fits the room with the man you become. This is your blueprint, your command, your edge in a world addicted to weakness. If you're still listening, you already know you were never meant to be average. You were meant to become undeniable. So here's the final command. Don't just watch this video. Install it, live it, speak it, repeat it, become it. Because when you do, your voice will change it. Your posture will shift. Your energy will lead. And the world will finally see what you've known all along. You're not like the rest. You were built for more. And now you've remembered.